one. Yeah! Yeah!
Welcome to this video on the Clonee 10k. So as I said there, it's 10k and this was a race where I was aiming to run sub 35 for the first time. Previously my PB was 36 minutes and that was actually in a race just over a week and a half ago, and that was a B race. So basically what I did was did a couple of kind of tune-up races leading up to this one. Both of them I didn't really taper for, so I just sort of went all out in them to see where I was. And then it all sort of led up to doing a proper taper for this race and aiming for sub 35. If you want any more information on those events beforehand, there are my previous two videos on the channel, but for now I'll just discuss this one. So I'll begin with the taper. So what I did a bit differently for this was, this race was on a Thursday, so the previous Saturday I did my last kind of major speed session. What I did was a bit more rest involved than what I would probably usually do, but what I did was 2 sets of 1k by 4 and gave myself about 75-second rest in between each of those reps, and then it was kind of like a 5 maybe 10-minute rest in between sets. After that I just did 5 reps of 200 meters, so I was kind of aiming for around 3:30 or quicker for each of those 1k reps. And then for the 200 meters I was doing them in around 35 to 34 seconds, so a lot faster than race pace, but it's just to get the speed in the legs. Moving on to Sunday, what I did was just basically my long run, so very easy. It was just under 2 hours, nothing kind of crazy involved in it, just literally an easy run. Monday, total rest from running, so I went out on the bike, did 50k, which was about 2 hours again, but it's not very intensive, so I'm kind of used to cycling, so yeah, that was just again ticking over. Then on to Tuesday, I did 10 minutes warming up, then 10 by 45 seconds, a bit quicker than race pace, and then about 18.5 minutes cool down. So overall it was just a 45-minute run, mostly easy with just a little bit of kind of speed involved, again just to keep it in the legs. And then on the Wednesday was just a very short shakeout, so 20 minutes and then 4 by 20-second strides. I don't know if that seems like a lot to some people or if it's kind of normal enough. I'm not actually very experienced in the 10k, but I'm more used to running kind of longer events, so yeah, if it seems like a lot, that's probably why. I'm just sort of used to my taper for a longer event, would be those sort of kind of runs. So then on to the actual race day, and it was at 8 o'clock at night, so it was kind of ideal. I was able to do plenty of eating through the day, take it nice and easy through the day, and then just rock up to the race. So yeah, like I was saying, aiming for sub 35, so I'm looking to kind of hit 3:30 pace for the majority of this, if not just a second or two quicker, just to kind of take into account the fact that you usually travel a little bit further than your goal. So first kilometer we've just gone through, and that was a 3:28 kilometer, so I hadn't really been looking at the watch at this point. It's gone purely sort of by feel, mainly just trying to find a place within the group. So you can see there's some people are passing and there's some people that are kind of sticking right where the same pace that you are. So yeah, that was kind of my focus early on.
on, lads.
So as you can see, things have sort of spaced out a little bit more now. I've sort of tagged on to this fella in front of me. He was kind of going at pretty much the pace that I want to be going at, and we've just gone through 2k at a pace of 3:30 per kilometre for that kilometre. So again, right on track. My main goal was pretty much as I could in the first half to get 3:30 kilometres or quicker, basically. The wind was behind us for this part of it. There wasn't much wind, to be fair, but you know, every little helps in it when you're kind of cutting it tight like I was for this. So yeah, aiming to hit a 3:30 or faster pace for each kilometre.
What time are you going for, big dog?
Hoping sub-35.
Me and you both,
Yeah.
so
Just try hang on.
sit on the 3:30 pace.
Yeah,
Try to stick behind this fella, big boy.
that's the plan.
It's like a gradual uphill here
Yeah.
for the next couple of times.
Not the APB.
Yeah, 36:30 at the minute. See. Hey, let's talk more, right?
So that's the master plan there. Try to sit in behind people as much as we can. As you heard, that fella, he said he's going for sub-35 as well. So we kind of ended up alongside each other for a while. But you will see at some point he sort of goes, and I'm just looking at the back of him for the rest of us. So he flew, he got a sub-35, so well done to him. And he made it look effortless. So yeah, really good stuff from him. But yeah, that was kind of definitely cemented in my mind, you know, we'll just stick on to this pace. Things are going well so far, and yeah, we'll just keep going. So I had a bit of a choice here. This group was kind of slowing down a little bit. Checked my watch and we were going slower than 3:30 pace. So basically I had a choice to try sit in, see what we pick up, or be the one to sort of break the gap and try to close down that group ahead. So made the choice that I'd rather kind of go out swinging than, you know, play it conservative and not really try. So basically decided to cut through the gap there and try to break down that gap to the people ahead. I could see that I was kind of going at a slightly faster pace than them, so it might take me a while, but I kind of was confident that I'd catch them. Didn't want to kind of burst into a sprint to try to do that. Obviously that would kind of take a lot out of me. So yeah, the most important thing to me was to keep it sustainable. So I'm only picking up by a couple of seconds a kilometre here than what we were doing in that little group. But yeah, it was important to do that, but at the same time do it in a sustainable way, so that I wasn't killing myself. Yeah, pretty much. So I think by doing this, I sort of dragged definitely at least that one fella there that I was chatting to earlier along with me, if not a few more. So yeah, passing the water there, I wouldn't really take water in a 10k. Slows me down first of all. I'm not any used to taking it in, and I'll just splash it all over myself anyway. So yeah, that's why I didn't take any water there. It's also pretty good conditions. I know it's raining, as you can see, but that kind of actually keeps you cool, if anything, so I don't quite mind that. And yeah, the temperature was cool enough with the rain, I suppose, keeping you cool. So didn't really need water at that point. And as you saw, we passed the 3rd kilometer mark there, and that was another 3:28. So at the moment, I've banked myself 4 seconds. So that's obviously, if the watch is a bit accurate, it was kind of clicking across to a kilometer a few meters before each sign. So that meant in my head I already knew that technically I was up on the watch, but that I did have to make up the extra distance that I'd have to be covering. I knew it wouldn't be a lot, like just a few meters, but if you're going for exactly 3:30 pace, you're not going to get sub 35 based on the fact that you're going to actually run a little bit further than that. So that's why that was in my head. If you are enjoying the video, please do like it, maybe subscribe to the channel as well. If there's something you think I can do better, let me know in the comments. But yeah, please do like and subscribe if you are enjoying it. I think it helps the channel grow and reach more people and stuff like that. So yeah, that'd be good. And yeah, I'll get back to it now.
Come up this road?
No, I don't think so.
So that was the fellow I was talking to earlier, Aaron I think his name was, and as you can see the two of them came from behind me. So basically I think the three of us ended up closing that gap together, and then we saw this group ahead, so they probably felt I was slowing down a bit and pushed on ahead, and fair play to them, I never got near them again. So yeah, we're catching this group here, and the reason he thought we were maybe back on a road that we'd run before is that it sort of swings a couple of lefts and then you loop back to the last kind of couple of kilometers to come into finish, but we're only coming up to, I think it's the 5th kilometers at this point. So yeah, we had a couple of more turns before we basically got back to the main road where we started from. So that's through the 5th kilometer now, and did that kilometer in 3:31, which meant I did the first 5k in around 17:25, which is 5 seconds banked. So in my head that's good, but like I said earlier, you're kind of traveling a little bit further than the actual 10k. So yeah, I knew in my head that I might need to run a negative split at this point, which is where you run the second half faster than the first half. So that was kind of in my head, but I mean that's kind of how I hoped to do anyway. But obviously you can hear the breathing and stuff at this point. It's already getting pretty tough. Kind of around 5-6k is when I start to feel like I don't know how much longer I can do this. But yeah, I'll discuss that a bit further on in the race. Obviously as well now things are a lot more spread out than they were before, so you've kind of passed anyone that kind of was running a bit slower than you, and at this point you're just maybe catching people who are slowing down or who maybe just started a bit further ahead. So you can see obviously way out in front there's a huge gap. So yeah, I was trying to get as close to your man Aaron there as I could and try cling on, but yeah, I knew that he was kind of gonna kick on at some point and I was gonna lose him, so try keep there as long as I could was the plan. So that's kilometer 6 now, and that was a 3:27. So that is kind of the exact pace that I'm hoping to sort of run for each of these remaining kilometers as much as I can. And at this point, I'm basically just clinging onto that pace and trying to hold on to it and just sustain it as much as I can. At this point, the heart rate is well in the 190s, which kind of never really happens for me. Like when I be training and stuff, this has only really happened in these last few 10Ks that I've been doing. So yeah, heart rate is not used to going up that high, and I guess that just shows I'm really pushing the limits. I think the maximum it kind of went up to in one of those races was like just over 200, which again never happens for me. Prior to doing these events, kind of the highest it would ever reach is maybe 190 at the very most. But anyway, that's just a bit of extra context to show how hard I'm pushing. So that's through 7 kilometers. That was a 3:28 kilometer. So again, I'm just about clinging on to this pace. But yeah, like I say, working really hard. You always feel like saying thanks to these people that are saying that, you know, good running and stuff. But yeah, I definitely couldn't be speaking at that point. I was really struggling at this point. What I kind of do when it gets to this stage is, you know, I start taking like 3 kilometers left, and you know, when I'm running at this pace, that's like less than 12 minutes. Just got to cling on to that as much as you can. So at this point, the physical body is struggling, but it's all actually about what's in the mind is what you need to get through. So yeah, whatever tricks you kind of need to employ to do that. For me, it's kind of beginning to count down. So, you know, less than 12 minutes to go. I wouldn't want to quit now, start slowing down now when I don't necessarily have to. I basically only let myself slow down when I literally can't go anymore, and it's just happening naturally. So yeah, for me, count down, and basically I'm thinking that if I start to slow down now, you know, it's going to kill me. Whereas at least if I get to, say, 9k and I know I can't go anymore at this pace, then I've gotten as far as I could possibly get. But yeah, I kind of knew that there was something more. Body wanted to give up, but at this point it's just about the mind overpowering the body, and you know, you are capable of doing it. It's just you have to get control of your mind like that. So that's 8k done, and that kilometer was again a 3:28. So each kilometer I'm banking a couple of seconds as long as the watch is pretty accurate. I use the Coros pace too because the GPS is known to be pretty good, so I do trust these splits when they're coming in. And basically at this point, what I had in my head was to get to 8 kilometers before 28 minutes, and I think I did that. I can't remember the exact time, but it was a few seconds under. So at this point, it kind of gives you that extra bit of drive to, even though your body is just screaming at you, just slow down. My back was starting to get really sore, my lower back. I just sort of had to adjust how I was sort of running, so I think I just leaned forward a little bit rather than leaning back, and I think that did help. But yeah, at this point you're just thinking you're on target, 2 kilometers left. It's just basically give it everything as long as you still can. So you can hear the breathing is obviously really kind of struggling at this point. It's not gone like too erratic or anything, like I'm still getting the breaths in. It's just that I'm having to get a lot of breaths in basically to keep going. But yeah, that's what's going on in my mind at this point. But less than 2 kilometers to go now, just have to push till the end. Number one rule is if there's kids on the side of the road and you're on the same side as them, give them the high five when they're looking for it. I won't go from the middle of the road, I won't go across, but if I'm there, just give them the high five. It's great to see the kids going out giving support, and yeah, someone will get really enthusiastic about it. So yeah, always give them the high five when you can. So here we go, through 9k, less than a kilometer to go now, and did the 9th kilometer in 3:30. So at this point I wasn't sure was that, whatever way the twists and turns of the course or what happened, but a little bit slower than I want to be. I was trying to get under 3:30 each kilometer. So at this point, starting to do all the little calculations. So I was on course, but at the same time I don't think I could really afford to drop off the pace much here. And bearing in mind that I didn't really know how much longer than the 10k I'd end up doing. So obviously doesn't matter if you're watch tracks, 10.2. No, I wasn't that far out, but I think it was only a few meters. But yeah, if you're watch tracks 10.2, it doesn't matter, you get to the finish line. So all the timings go out the window at this point. Try and do the maths in your head, but at the same time obviously struggling. So yeah, I'll let you just watch the finish, just see how I got on, and I'll talk about it after. So it was one of them. It went right to the end, and as you saw, the clock had just turned 35 by the time I was crossing it. But I didn't start obviously when the race started, so that might have looked like I actually missed it, but it did get the time. So I got 34:56. So I was absolutely delighted. When I first crossed the line, I actually, because I saw it turn to 35, I thought I just missed it. Obviously, the brain wasn't functioning fully at that point, and didn't realise that I had started after, obviously, the clock started. So, yeah, got the time, and once that settled in, I checked my watch, and my watch had stopped at 34:58. So I was like, hold on a minute, have I actually done it? Um, Obviously, I couldn't just immediately check the results online, but yeah, the watch told me I had done it. So I was absolutely delighted then. You could hear that last kilometre, the noises I was making. Obviously, it was quite a struggle. When I did see the clock, I think when I saw it turn to 34:50, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do this. I'm going to have to sprint. Obviously, didn't know how much time I had in the bank at that point. So, yeah, really had to sprint at that point. I do like the ones where you can see the finish line from a while back. Kind of, you can see there's a bit of a slant here, so you don't see it as early. I find that it just gives you that extra drive once you can see that line in sight, even if it's a bit further away. Yeah, I feel like you can always just push a little bit harder. But yeah, I was just recording then at the end here. I had a friend doing it, and he was aiming to run sub, or I think 44 minutes. I don't know if he's gone for sub or not, but yeah, he was aiming for that. So I was kind of sticking around, just had the camera on for when I knew he'd be finishing. So you just see a few more people finish, and then you'll see him finish, and then that's the video. So thanks for watching. If you watched to the end, hope you did enjoy it, and hope the commentary and all that made sense. If you have any questions or anything, or any kind of advice, things you'd like to see in future videos, do let me know. I'm happy to kind of take feedback and stuff like that in the comments. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, consider maybe subscribing to the channel and liking the video. Basically, I do these for all the events I do, and the training that I do for the events as well. I'll be putting up, especially going into a marathon block. So yeah, if you enjoy that sort of content, please do follow along. Thanks for watching.
Go on, Adam. Good man. 43.